What if I told you that you could be just a few steps away from your Nikah, and yet completely unready? It's the paradox many experience. The excitement of marriage on one hand, and on the other, an invisible worry. A little voice that says, am I really prepared for what it entails? Today, we're not going to talk about wedding checklists or planning. No. We're going to explore deeper, spiritual, inner signs. Signs that show you're moving toward your Nikah, but that your soul hasn't yet found its balance.
The first sign that you're close to your Nikah, but you're not yet ready, is this inner emptiness. And I know you've already felt it. That moment when everything seems in place on the outside. The date set, the discussions advanced, the preparations completed. Your loved ones look at you with joy, some even with envy. But when you're alone, away from the noise, away from prying eyes, there's this heavy silence that sets in. It's a silence that doesn't reassure you. On the contrary, it weighs, it grates on your heart. And you understand that there's something deeper that you haven't yet built. You know, many people confuse marriage with the fulfillment of a dream, as if it were the last piece of their life's puzzle. Once married, I'll be complete. Once married, I'll be at peace. Once married, I'll be happy. But the truth is, if you feel this emptiness now, marriage won't fill it. On the contrary, this emptiness may be even more visible when you share your daily life with another soul. Because Nikah isn't just about finding someone who loves you. It's about accepting a responsibility before Allah. It's about fulfilling a sacred role, being a guardian for another, a support in faith, a companion in patience, a partner in sincerity. And if your heart is still a place of disorder, distractions, unresolved attachments, then how can you offer a space of peace to someone else? The inner emptiness is a sign, not a coincidence, not a shameful weakness. It's like a lamp your soul lights to warn you. You're moving too fast, you're decorating the facade, but you haven't yet built the inner house. You can impress everyone with your preparations, but you can't fool your soul. You can smile in front of others, but you can't hide that weight when you're alone with Allah. And sometimes, this emptiness isn't just an absence. It's an accumulated spiritual fatigue. You pray, but without concentration. You fast, but your heart doesn't taste the sweetness. You talk about marriage, but deep down, you're looking for refuge from your own wounds, not a path to elevate yourself with someone. So ask yourself, if you take away the dress, the venue, the flowers, the decorations, what's left? If you take away the applause and the smiles of your family, do you still feel inner strength? Or do you feel an emptiness that you hope to hide beneath the wedding clothes? This emptiness, it's not there to break you. It's there to invite you to look at things differently. Because marriage isn't a magic solution. It's a mirror. And if your inner mirror is still broken, you'll see in your relationship the cracks you haven't wanted to repair within yourself. Think about this. Love isn't just a sweet emotion. Love, in the context of Nikah, becomes a responsibility before Allah. It's a sacred weight that requires a strong heart. And if your heart is still torn by storms, if you haven't yet found that intimate connection with your Creator, then you'll always feel that gap, that emptiness that manifests itself, even when everything else seems perfect. It's not a doubt about the person you want to marry. Don't confuse that. It's a doubt about yourself, about what you're willing to give, about the sincerity of your intention, about the strength of your bond with Allah. And if today you feel that emptiness, it's not a punishment. It's a mercy. It's as if Allah is saying to you, wait, look within,
Do not approach this sacred mission without first filling your heart with me. Because marriage is not a refuge to escape your loneliness. It's a test, a school, a path that reveals what you truly carry within. And if you arrive at this path with an emptiness, then this emptiness will become your daily struggle. So ask yourself once again, what do you want to offer your future husband, your future wife? Is it a house decorated on the outside but empty inside? Or a heart filled, anchored, solid, that can be a refuge when the world becomes difficult? The silence you feel, it is not your enemy. It is an invitation to rebuild what no one sees. Because before entering into a nikah, you must first enter into total sincerity with yourself. And if you ignore this emptiness, if you hide it behind preparations, know that it will return, stronger, heavier. But if you listen to it, if you face it, if you fill it with connection with your Creator, then this emptiness will become your greatest strength. And perhaps that's precisely why you hear these words today. Because this emptiness was just waiting for a reminder, a sign, to tell you that it's time to look within before moving outward.
Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine a house standing proudly in the middle of a neighborhood. Its walls are straight, its windows shine. The door is painted a warm color that attracts attention. Passers-by find it beautiful. Some photograph it, others whisper, "This is a house that exudes stability." But what no one sees are its foundations. They aren't solid, they're hollow, cracked, fragile. And when the rain comes, when the wind blows, when the earth shakes, the cracks widen, and everything that seemed perfect threatens to collapse. Now, understand, this house is your future marriage, and the foundation is your relationship with your Creator. You may have seemingly solid walls. You know how to smile. You know how to organize yourself. You even know how to project the image of a balanced person. But when you find yourself alone, when you look deep within, you know that your spiritual foundations are shaking. You pray, but only sometimes. You make supplications, but only when you're in crisis. You seek Allah's closeness, but inconsistently, like a hasty visitor who knocks on the door but never truly enters. And yet, you want to build a marriage, a home for two souls, a refuge in an unstable world. But how can you shelter someone else if your own foundations aren't strong? How can you offer peace if your inner soil is cracked by forgetfulness, inconsistency, or distraction? Think about the reality of marriage. It's not a wall that's built in a day. It's a building that's constructed every morning, every night, with patience, fidelity, and constancy. When you become a husband or wife, people won't just look at your smile or your gentleness. We will see your strength in times of trial, your steadfastness in faith, your ability to raise your house to Allah despite the storms. But if your bond with Him is fragile now, do you think it will suddenly become strong after the nikah? Number. Marriage is not a magic wand. It reveals. It exposes. It brings to light the truth of what you have built within yourself. So imagine that house again. One day, a storm breaks. The exterior walls, so beautiful, begin to vibrate. Rain seeps through the invisible cracks. Perfect decoration is no longer of any use, because the problem lies beneath, in what no one had taken the time to strengthen. A storm, in a marriage, will be fatigue, disagreements, financial responsibilities, past wounds resurfacing, trials sent by Allah to test your sincerity. And if your foundations are fragile, you won't hold up. Or worse, you'll bring the other person down with you. And here's the truth that few dare to speak.
Your nikah doesn't first need walls that are solid in people's eyes. It needs invisible but indestructible foundations. Your sincere devotion to Allah, your discipline in prayer, your constancy in supplication, your deep trust in the divine decree. Because when you kneel before Him every day, when you fill your heart with His light, you are building solid foundations. And on these foundations, everything can stand. Even if the walls crack, even if the storm roars, the house will not collapse. Because it rests on an eternal foundation, not on the illusion of your human efforts. So I ask you a question. What are you building now? A facade for others, or foundations for Allah? If you prepare for your nikah but neglect your prayer, it's like painting the walls of a house over and over again, whose floor is already sagging. If you dream of marriage but are absent from your connection with your Creator, it's like decorating a room that risks collapsing at any moment. And perhaps what you've been feeling lately, this instability, this fear, the sense that something is missing, isn't pointless doubts. It's cracks your soul is pointing out to you. Cracks that don't require additional decoration, but profound repair. Because at its core, marriage isn't decoration. It's architecture. And the most solid architecture begins in the invisible, in the heart that sincerely prostrates itself, in the soul that depends on its Lord, in the daily habits that build a stability that nothing and no one can shatter. Don't get your priorities wrong. Don't put all your energy into what people will see, when what will truly sustain your marriage is what no one sees, your inner connection. The third sign is fear, but not the fear you show to others. It's a disguised fear, a fear you hide behind your smile, behind your "I'm ready," behind your laughter during the family discussions. To the world, everything seems perfect. You project the image of someone confident, someone moving confidently toward their nikah. You joke, you reassure, you tell others, "Don't worry, I'm fine." But when the doors close, when the night envelops you, when you no longer have anyone to convince, your heart beats differently. And this beat is not joyful. It's a dull fear, an anxiety that tightens your chest, a silent question that keeps coming back. What if I'm not up to it? It's not a fear of marriage itself. It's deeper. It's a fear of yourself. The fear of discovering parts of your soul you've never faced. The fear of having to take on a role you haven't yet mastered. Being a partner in truth, a confidant in pain, a protector in the storm. And this fear, you can't extinguish it with a smile. You can't calm it with decorations, nor with reassuring words. Because it doesn't live in your face, it lives in your heart. Look within yourself. Be sincere. How many times have you felt this weight in your chest without ever speaking about it? How many times have you tried to banish this fear by telling yourself, it will pass. Once you're married, things will be better. But this fear doesn't disappear, because it's not marriage that should resolve it. It's you in your relationship with yourself, and especially in your relationship with Allah. Because deep down, this fear reveals something. Your soul is not yet ready to take on the mission of marriage. You are ready for joy, for laughter, for sweet moments. But are you ready for the heavy nights, when your partner weeps silently and you must be their support? Are you ready for the trying times when you must run the household, even when you yourself are exhausted? Are you ready to remain faithful, to remain patient, to remain sincere, not just when things are going well, but when everything is shaky? This disguised fear is like a shadow walking beside you. You think you've left it behind, but it follows you. And it grows heavier as you approach your nikah. And if you ignore this shadow, If you refuse to face it, then it may be waiting for you on the threshold of your marriage. And that day, you will discover that it was much greater than you wanted to admit. But listen to me carefully. This fear is not a weakness. It is a sign. It is a warning. It is a reminder that you must not run toward marriage as one runs toward a party, but as one advances toward a sacred pact, a commitment before Allah. Fear, in disguise, is your soul telling you, stop running. Prepare yourself. Not prepare to impress people, not prepare to smile in front of the guests, but prepare to be a true companion on the path of faith. Prepare to be a pillar when everything collapses. Prepare to carry this role not as a constraint, but as a mission given by your Lord. So feel this fear. Don't deny it. Feel it to the very end, because it's there to wake you up. And if today you feel like these words speak directly to you, that this description fits what you feel at night when no one is there, it's no coincidence. Perhaps Allah wanted you to hear this now, so that you understand that your marriage doesn't begin with a ceremony. It begins with a heart that embraces its own shadows. You can smile in front of everyone, you can say, I'm ready. But when you're alone, when you close your eyes, when your heart beats faster out of fear than joy, then recognize it. Marriage isn't yet what awaits you. It's an inner preparation, a reconciliation with yourself, a deeper connection with your Lord. Because as long as you hide this fear behind smiles, it won't go away. It will return, stronger, sharper, and it will remind you that you weren't ready yet. So listen carefully. You don't have to run away from this fear. You have to listen to it, because it's a sign that your soul is calling for a deeper preparation. And perhaps if you feel your heart beating faster right now, it's not by chance. Let me ask you a simple question, but one that could change your entire life. When you think about your future marriage, do you see it as a door to Allah or as a refuge to heal your inner wounds? Think for a moment. Don't rush into answering, because your inner answer, the one no one hears except Allah, says much more than your words. Be honest with yourself. Do you dream of marriage because you seek to elevate your faith? To walk hand in hand with a soul who shares the same path to Him? Or are you, without realizing it, running toward the Nikah because you can no longer bear your loneliness? Because you want to escape your insecurities, your wounds, your nights of silence? Look at your heart. When you imagine your husband, your wife, what do you really expect from this person? Do you want a partner who helps you become a better person before Allah? Or do you want someone to fill a void that you yourself never wanted to face? Because Nikah, listen carefully, is not a band-aid. It's not a cover to hide your wounds. It's not an escape. Marriage doesn't heal an empty soul. It reveals it. It exposes it. It shows the truth of what you carry. So, once again, what are you looking for in this marriage? Maybe you're saying, I want someone to love me. But is it really love you want? Or is it confirmation that you're worth something? Maybe you're saying, I want someone by my side. But is it really support you want? Or is it simply the fear of being alone? These nuances are invisible to other people, but they are clear to Allah. And that's where it all comes down to, your intention. Because intention is the root. If you plant a seed of love for Allah, your marriage will bear strong fruit, even when drought strikes. But if you plant a seed of fear, lack, or avoidance, then, sooner or later, your marriage will wither. I'll ask you another question. When you dream of Nikah, do you imagine yourself as a soul moving with its partner toward paradise? Or do you simply imagine yourself happy, at peace, because you believe that someone else will fill your voids? Because if the second image dominates your heart, then it's a sign that you're confusing marriage with therapy. A sign that you're seeking in a human being what only Allah can give: inner peace, wholeness, the healing of your wounds. And here's what few dare to say: you can love, you can be loved, but if your deepest intention is to fill a personal void, you risk chaining your marriage to your lack. You risk blaming the other person for your happiness, and when they fail, because they will inevitably fail to be perfect, your heart will experience even more pain. So ask yourself sincerely, why do you want to get married? Is it to fulfill a sacred mission? To create a home where Allah is at the center, where every smile, every sacrifice, every patience becomes worship? Or is it to feel what you haven't wanted to face alone? Don't lie to yourself. Because marriage doesn't forgive false intentions. They always resurface, sooner or later. And if you approach the nikah with the intention of filling a void, then that void risks engulfing you and the person with you. But if you realign your heart, if you refocus your intention, if you make marriage not a refuge from your loneliness but a mission to Allah, then even in poverty, even in trials, even in storms, you will find an inner light that will not be extinguished. So I ask you again, one last time, when you close your eyes and think about your future marriage, what do you really see?
The fifth sign is the illusion of control. You approach your nikah with the feeling that everything is finally in your hands. The dates are set, the papers are ready, the families are in agreement, the arrangements are planned almost to the minute. You look at your calendar, you observe the organization charts, and you think to yourself,
everything is in place. But deep in your heart, there is that subtle, almost imperceptible whisper that says, what if all this is just a facade? Because your soul knows. It knows that no human plan, however perfect, has ever guaranteed happiness. You can prepare, you can calculate, you can anticipate every detail, but you cannot write history in Allah's place. The illusion of control is like walking on a bridge made of glass. From a distance it appears solid, almost indestructible. But each step resonates hollowly. Each step reminds you that all it would take is one invisible crack for everything to tip over. And you keep moving forward, hoping that your calculations, your efforts, your precautions are enough to support your weight. But tell me, what are you really relying on? Your plans or your Creator? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. When you prepare your nikah with an obsession to control everything, what you feel deep down, this emptiness, this imbalance, this anxious heartbeat, is no accident. It's your soul reminding you that you haven't yet learned to let go before Allah. You have faith in your to-do list, but do you have faith in the divine decree? You have faith in your preparations, but do you have faith that even if everything collapses, Allah will hold your hand? Because marriage isn't a scene you stage. It's a divine script you enter without knowing all the chapters to come. Look around you. How many marriages had planned everything, anticipated everything, and yet fell apart? How many simple, almost impromptu unions have lasted a lifetime because they were carried by a deep connection? This is proof that human control is an illusion. What matters is not the perfection of your plans. It's the sincerity of your surrender to Allah. The illusion of control is like wanting to hold the ocean in the palm of your hands. You think you've captured it, you feel a little water between your fingers. But every second, the water escapes, flows, disappears. And the harder you hold on, the more you lose. Your future, your marriage, your entire life. None of this has ever been held in your hands. And the nikah, as sacred as it is no exception to this rule. So ask yourself, are you building your marriage on your own calculations? Or are you placing it in the hands of the one who holds hearts? Because if you continue to cling to the illusion of having everything under control, you will soon discover a bitter truth. No marriage is sustained by plans. It is sustained by barakah. And barakah doesn't come from your efforts, nor from your planning. It comes from your sincere surrender, from your deep trust, from your heart accepting that it is not you who is in control, but Him. So look at your steps. You are moving forward, yes, but why do they resonate hollowly? Because they lack connection. You walk with your intelligence, with your calculations, with your human strength, but not with your heart placed in the hands of Allah. And if today you feel this imbalance, if you move forward with the sensation that something is missing despite all your preparations, it's not a mistake of your mind. It's a reminder from your soul. It knows. It knows that control is an illusion, and that only sincere trust, tawakkul, can make your marriage strong. Because sooner or later, you will encounter the unexpected. And on that day, your plans won't be enough. You'll need an invisible force, an inner support, a total connection, and perhaps that's precisely why you hear these words now. So that you understand that your happiness lies not in what you organize, but in what you place in the hands of the one who never disappoints. These 5 signs aren't here to discourage you, quite the opposite. They're like lanterns on your path, inviting you to look within before taking one of the most sacred steps of your life. If you recognize yourself in one or more of these signs, don't ignore them. Get back to basics. Align your heart with your Creator, and remember, Nikah isn't the end of a dream. It's the beginning of a mission. So before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these signs spoke to you the most? And if this video awakened something in you, subscribe so we can continue this journey together toward greater spiritual clarity.